Hey, what's up, y'all? Welcome to another episode of the Replay. I'm here with my guys. I got my man Daryl Alexander to my right, my man Tim Jackson in the middle, and joining me on the end, y'all know him as Mr. Jeff Booker. So today we're gonna talk about it, y'all. Y'all see me with my Texas Rangers stuff on, but we're gonna be talking about their football. But I gotta give my Texas Rangers a big shout out. They still in that NL hunt in that Major League Baseball. But check this out. Y'all saw that game the other day, right? Dallas Cowboys against the New York Giants, how they went up there and crushed them boys in New York. Jeff Book, I know you was there.
Ooh.
I know you was there looking at it, man. What you think about them boys, man?
Man, I think them Cowboys look good. They say defense win championships. And them boys, they represent the special team, defense, all around the board. And the offense, you know, we got a little work to do on the offense still, you know, but it's early. You know, defense always gonna be the offense at the beginning. You know, so.
At the beginning.
Yeah.
But check this out. I gotta come to my right first. I see my guy right here, Tim. My man over here, cause he gonna be a little bit more objective, cause he ain't know we gonna do it like this. He ain't no cowboy guy. But we gonna see what he got to say. If he got anything bad to say about what happened in that game. I got my man Daryl over here. What you think about it, D8?
Come on, man.
That defense is strong. That defense is really strong. You really don't know what you got playing the Giants because they own the Giants. So I give y'all a couple more games before I give you a grade. You know? But
couple more games.
It was the most dominant game of the weekend.
Okay.
For sure.
At first it was us.
Right.
You know,
Who was us?
Who was us?
Who was us?
Them Cowboy killers. That's who it was. Them
Cowboy killers.
The 49ers?
I might get a little bit quiet on them, man, because they have owners the last 2 years in the playoff. Okay. All right, well, anyway, let me see what my man Tim got on that, man. What you think, man? He said he's 49ers, but what you think about that game?
With a Texas ambulance, you know what I'm saying? It was raining, man. It took them a little second, right? The defense actually get their sea legs, you know, because they hadn't been practicing and stuff like that all together. And so it took them a while. They was driving down. Everybody like, oh, is it run defense just like it was last year? No, They got some big boys up here. They just got to. I saw they was double teaming them. They said, okay, they had to figure that out. How to deal with that double team. How to create the lane for the linebacker. Once they did that, them guys was trying to shoot up to the outside. They couldn't get to the outside. They tried to come to the middle. They couldn't get to the middle. They didn't have anywhere they could go because their defense was playing so well. They so fast and quick. Yeah. See, that's the key to it. And they know what they're doing now because they've been around each other for a little while.
That's right.
So now you talk about reading things. So they're now reading plays and say, okay, hey, guess what? They can run end around. So they communicating that. So they hit that end around. That end around don't work anymore, right? Only thing that did work was that running quarterback for a while, right? Then they kind of shut that down. They started to actually put somebody spying a little bit more than they were doing before. But hey, it's the first game of the season. As you said, it's the Giants, but the Giants supposed to have the offensive line, didn't they?
They supposed to have the line.
It's off season.
They supposed to have the line.
They went. I'm put it like this, man. You know,
I didn't see it.
You didn't see it. I knew it was gonna come. I knew it was gonna come. What did you see then, D?
I saw a bunch of dudes who look like they ain't never played football before.
Right, it's like it's still the pop.
I don't know how you get to the pro. I know defense is good, but how you get to the pros and you just like can't block? So I didn't see what everybody was saying.
But I'm gonna say this, man.
I'm
gonna say this. But
the Cowboy defense is tough.
Yeah,
they
give credit.
They scary.
They scary. Like for real.
They scary. And that's one of the things that I said, you know, before, you know, going into this season, especially with the addition of Stephon Gilmore, is that when you've been in the system for 3 years, and we talked about this before, but you've been in the system for 3 years, and that's more about just getting to the spot.
That's right.
You're not reacting anymore. There's not a slow reaction.
That's right.
Because you know where you're supposed to be.
That's right.
You know where you're going, and that's what I saw the other night. And what's even more scarier when you think about the rain. It was pouring down rain, and they seemed like they was playing on a fast track.
That's right.
You know what I mean? So when you couple that, man, with the understanding the assignment, understanding where you're supposed to be, trusting one another.
That's right.
Everybody's back. Hey, man, that's a recipe, man, for a real dominant defense. And I really do believe that the defense is going to be carrying the Dallas Cowboys this year, carrying that offense, man.
Yeah, they will.
It was. Hold on, I'm sorry. It was just one little thing I saw. Remember that kick, the first kick? Did y'all have that little deja vu? Like, oh my goodness, what's going on?
Oh, he missed the field goal?
Yeah, when he missed that first extra point.
Extra point.
When he missed the extra point. But you know what I noticed about it? is that he has a short approach. That kick is not gonna get blocked. If you don't know, he has a very short approach approaching the kick. He takes about two little steps. Yeah, everybody else take about three. He take a little longer. Only thing he has to do is make sure. Only way he get his kick blocked is that if the holder
don't get the ball down fast enough.
Don't get the ball fast enough. Otherwise, he has no problem not getting his. He will not get his kick blocked. But the other part is he got to be active.
Daryl over here, he over here laughing about something. What you got?
I was just thinking, you don't have to block it if you're gonna miss it.
That Daryl, man.
I'm just
but
saying.
he made the rest of
He
it.
took his little 2 steps.
Yeah.
But he got a leg on him.
Yeah, we won't have no flashback from Mayher from last year. When he talk about they got kickers, hips, and all that.
But I was impressed with your boy Tyron Smith, man. You know, Tyron Smith, he been down for some years. He owes us a lot. I think he did pretty good last night. I mean, he was up, blocking up downfield and everything. So with him being helped and him staying healthy, man, that's going to help that offensive line. And then, we had our boy, he was out, the rookie.
Yeah, Tyler Smith.
Yeah, he was out. So that offensive line, I like I said, I give him 2 or 3 games, man. That offense
will be jailed
because Pollard going to be all right. Yeah, Pollard going to be all right.
Well, I say this, man. I can't. I'm going to say this though. Going, before the game, I was hearing about Tyron Smith, man, and he was a possible scratch. And you know me, man. I mean, I said it last year. I was about to say it. Actually, gonna do another drop on it, man. Man, and we all know the best ability is what? Availability.
Yeah, that's right.
And I'm saying, I didn't even know, when did this dude get hurt again? When?
Right. Yeah.
I'm trying to figure it out. When? Cause if it's gonna be like this, man, go ahead. Move Tyler out to the left tackle and get us another guard. Draft another guard. You should have went and drafted you another guard. But if we're gonna get the first game ain't even started yet. You didn't play in the preseason.
He didn't get hurt last night.
No, he played. No. I'm just saying though. I'm just saying the game he was in general.
Right.
So I'm saying he didn't play none preseason. No starters didn't play in the preseason.
Nah, they did.
So I'm wondering, when did he get hurt? To walk through?
Nah.
They do have practice.
Okay, practice then. But put a green shirt on him, man.
The rookie is hurt.
Tyler Smith is hurt.
Now Tyler Smith not hurt. It's the rookie.
But now they was talking about both of them though. Now both of them was going before the game.
Oh, before game.
Both
Okay,
of
that
them
was
game out.
Had a little.
They say the ankle injury or something. I guess affected him. Then I guess Tyler must have a hamstring or something.
That Tyler Smith, that missed.
Now Tyler, we good. We good. Cause I know it's kind of you both Smith, both right again with a T Tyler. So, but I'm saying I'm just speaking about the left tackle from USC. That's what I'm speaking about.
About him.
Yeah, Tyron Smith. I'm about sick of him.
Is he old for a tackle? Like, I don't know what's old.
Yeah,
he's longer than 2. As you can see how he was running down the field and but he knew where to go.
He knew where to go. He knew where to be.
And he got his man, right? But you can see him running like a little bit like Lurch a little bit, that lumberjack movement. So yeah.
Well, when he's out there, but when he's out there, nobody's questioning. He's done.
He's done.
One of the best offensive left tackles in the game.
Right.
But it's just him being out there.
That's right. We need him to be there.
We need him to be there. He's a cornerstone.
Well, he ain't the only one. Even Dak need him. When Dak have time, Dak accurate. What happened with Dak, everybody keep talking about Dak and his interception. I hear everybody keep talking about that. Well, Dak went in with a mentality. That's what it's his mindset.
Right.
He said last year he's gonna go in and take more risk and do all that kind of stuff, and it showed. He took more risk and he got an interception because he threw in a double team more often. He trying to throw his guys open. Everybody was complaining about him trying to throw his guys open, and he tried to do that last year. Don't do that this year.
That's right.
don't do it this year. Yeah. Be calculated in your throws. If you want to take a challenge, be calculated. Throw the ball to the outside when you want to actually do something. Right. That way, it's less opportunity to get intercepted. You throw it in the middle, it can get tipped, bounce, all kind of way. All kind of guys can pick it up. Don't throw the double coverage on that unless you really have to. It's at the end of the game and you got to make a play, so you try anyway. But he needs to be calculating his risk.
Well, listen,
go ahead.
You know you're my brother. And I ain't got no more love for you. But I'm about to agree with my objective brother over here, Dak, I'm gonna need you to throw that ball right about 20 yards right here. 30 and in. It's like we got my good friend, Mr. Darrell Williams, CEO of Sports Business Institute. We were talking about that in a second, but as he said earlier, we don't need you way down there looking over the 50. You know what I'm saying?
That's not his pass.
That's not his pass.
Okay.
I mean, I like the fact that the way Mike McCarthy called the game,
He called a great
took
game.
the game out of Dak's
hand.
hand.
That's right.
And they played, even though they were a little conservative,
Right.
that's a recipe to win.
That's right.
Because the defense,
Yes.
we got to be the Baltimore Ravens, man,
Yeah.
from
Yeah.
2002.
I agree.
No, now I mean, don't get me wrong. We take our chances. If it's
Right.
there,
If it's
then
there,
okay, go ahead.
then we go
But make
downfield.
sure,
Okay.
make sure you go through your progressions.
That's right.
Don't do what you. We need some 2016 Dak.
And then-
Don't go through your progressions.
And
man.
then I noticed last night the receivers was getting more separation than they was last year.
Right, but I think Brandon Cooks had a lot to do with
Yeah,
that too,
yeah,
man.
right. I agree.
He's a big help, a big
But
addition.
he's so quick, man.
Isn't he, man?
Ooh, and he gets out his breaks, like boom, right? And Gallup finally starting to look a little bit like he did
last
when
year.
the year before,
before last, right.
before he got hurt. He's starting to look a little bit better. So it takes 2 years, man.
Right.
When you have a knee injury, it always takes 2 years actually. They can say, oh yeah, he's healthy. Nah,
Right.
it takes 2 years for your body to get used to. I remember when I hurt my knee, it was about 2 years afterwards to when I dipped that actually I didn't feel it. 2 years, I would feel it before that. I was cool, I was running, I was doing everything,
Right.
but I could still feel it. It took 2 years before I could stop feeling it. So it takes a little bit, and you got to get over that with your mind as well too. Like I said, it's a mindset
Mindset, it's
thing.
mindset.
So with Dak, yeah, he needs to have that mindset y'all talking about, but he needs to actually, he got to let it loose every once in a while too, because sometimes the defense is gonna give him that, and he needs to be accurate in that. So he needs to practice it, but he needs to throw it a lot less than he did last
I know
year.
y'all serious when you come to
The
play
Florida-
us. When you come to Levi Stadium.
We gonna get you.
and manhandle us, and everybody's healthy. I ain't talking about
Right.
our quarterback is out or Dak is out. Everybody healthy. Head up. You come to San Fran, beat us, then I know you serious.
Do you know we serious?
Before that, after that, if
That's
you
a
say
long
you don't
time.
do
So
that-
you saying
Are we
beat
playing
y'all
out this
because of
season?
fu-
yes.
Yeah,
I mean, the regular
schedule.
season.
They have a
Yeah,
schedule.
regular season.
They have a
Yes,
schedule.
What game?
Matter of fact,
It's in the middle.
it's
of,
Okay. That'll be soon enough.
I'm going to the game too.
and I have plans of hoping to go to.
I'm-
Well,
I'm-
the great thing about it, there's 3 teams that are really talented when you think about
I
it.
think it's September
Philly,
29th, 30th.
San, and
Toward the end of the
Dallas.
month,
I'm talking about just
Nah.
all the way over 14.
Yeah.
Very talented because you guys got a lot of skill position. Really, really good skill position in San Fran, and you got a really good defense. So same thing with Philly, and same thing with Dallas. So it's gonna be interesting when we come up. It's about us.
Okay, well I tell you what, when we come back, we're gonna talk about the upset, or if you want to call it that, the upset of the weekend when we Texas Longhorns roll high. We'll be back in a minute on the replay.
Replay.
I know my gun should be stored locked and unloaded. But what good is a gun if it's not prepared for use? So instead, I'm prepared for misuse. I'm prepared to stop arterial bleeding in 3 minutes. Less for kids, they bleed out faster. My son just shot himself. Hurry. Access to firearms triples your risk of death by suicide. But that's not the only way to misuse a gun.
I think I heard Mama.
Misuse can happen when you least expect. So being prepared means knowing the difference between CPR for adults and kids. Unintentional shootings happen every day. So that sense of safety my guns bring me
The gun he acquired from the family member's home.
can shatter in an instant.
The developing story will bring you more updates as they happen.
Store your gun securely, locked, unloaded, and away from ammo.
Welcome back. So let's get into this thing real quick, man, because something happened this past weekend that I was so proud of. So proud of to finally see these Texas Longhorns go into Tuscaloosa, Alabama, and knock off them Alabama roll. I'm saying roll high, not roll tide. Roll high. Went in there and knocked them boys off 34-24. Man, I watched that game. Wasn't sure if the quarterback Quinn Ewers, man, if he could stand the pressure. You know, especially when Alabama went down there, man, and scored. But, man, he stood strong in the pocket, Darryl. And all I can say, man, is congratulations to the Texas Longhorns. So let's talk about that. I don't know if you had a chance to see that, man, that game. You watched it? Yeah, what's your take on it?
Man, Texas seemed like they just had confidence. As soon as they hit the field, it felt like they knew they could beat Alabama for some reason. I'm like, do they know something? I don't know, because they manhandled them. You can tell when it was 4th down and they weren't even hesitating about going for it. I'm like, wait a minute, you at Alabama, and usually people don't do that at Alabama, but it was something about the swag they had as soon as they hit the field. It's like, man, these boys, like, they know they can beat Alabama.
Yeah. Well, I think, you know, in all fairness, I think last year played a big role in it because Ewers got knocked out the game last year. And then they go down there and you know, knew that they had to take, you know, care of business this year. They was right there, lost on a field goal. So I think they needed to prove this game. This is a big win for Texas, man. Without question, it's truly a big win, and I think it's going to be a staple win for them as we continue to get into these games week after week. But even though, you know, that Texas Red River Shootout, man, they playing my Oklahoma Sooners, man. I mean, I know that sounds crazy, but I grew up on them Sooners.
Who you got?
But you know what, man?
Before you get into that
prediction, hold on.
Before you get into that,
Texas is the better team. Let's get there.
Who you got?
Texas is a better team. I'm gonna go with Oklahoma, but Texas is the better team. But I gotta go with my Sooners, man. I don't really have a college team, but that's my one college team. Texas playing OU has always been one of them games where I gotta stay with Oklahoma, man. I gotta stay with Oklahoma. But what you got to say though about it, man? You got your red. Wait a minute. We need to be talking about Nebraska. We'll get to that in a second. Nebraska and Colorado. Mr. Free Safety Tim Jackson of the Nebraska Cornhuskers. But anyway.
Hey, go on, Tim. If it was my day. Okay. I never lost to Colorado, so that's a whole nother subject.
Okay, another subject. We talking about Texas Longhorns right now. We're gonna get
Texas. You know, it's funny, and you mentioned about the swag. That was really important because the year before, or years before, they had all these blue chips. They used to call them blue chips back in the day, right? 5-star players and stuff like that. So Texas always have a high class. They always bring in some of the best recruits, but they always overconfident. And you can tell, because as soon as they would get down, they would lose their confidence, right? So last year, for the first time, I think this coach has instilled a quiet confidence in his players instead of arrogance they had before. Like if everything was going well, they felt good. When things didn't go bad, that's what arrogance is. See, you lose your confidence when things go bad when it's arrogance, because it's false confidence, right? These guys actually had they felt good about themselves because of last year, and also because of their quarterback Ewers, because he's probably very confident because he felt like he was going to win that game last year. And so this year, when they came in, he had that confidence that they're going to win that game, and he put it on them. So we'll get back to it later, but that's kind of why he's so high probably in the Heisman Trophy thoughts as well in the polls. So, yeah, they look very confident, like you said, and actually they had that swag. And for the first time, I thought that it was real confidence, not some fake bull.
That's coming from a guy that played, played in those kind of games. You know what I'm saying? So I get where you're coming from. What's your take on the book?
Well, my take on it, man, I can piggyback off these guys. They look very confident to go into Alabama and do what they did. It took good coaching and executing from the players, and they done that. But it put a little pressure on my team. Aggies.
I wasn't gonna bring that up, but you brought it up. I wasn't gonna bring that up. You brought that up. And you tell nephew, I saw that missed tackle down the goal line. You let him know I saw that missed tackle down on the goal line.
Hey, trust me, he saw it. He felt it. That would have changed the difference of the game. But that put a lot.
By the way, he's talking about Texas A&M.
That put a lot of pressure on Texas
A&M Hurricane.
Because Texas going down there and handle them, and that means if we don't beat them boys this year, that's gonna hurt our recruiting. Because Texas own it, man. They own it.
I think
they on the rise, man. That coach is down there doing big things, man. So hey, shout out to Texas. Hey, I'm an Aggie fan. My nephew played for the Texas A&M, but shout out to the Texas. But we coming.
What they do? Let me ask you a question. Do Texas A&M, do they have NIL? Are they?
Yeah, they got NIL.
Well, it's just that I know Texas, man, got one of the largest and biggest dowers in the country. So they doing the right thing by these young athletes, man. I think that it's time. It's long overdue. Long overdue. But yeah, I think that Quentin Ewers, man, they talked about the kid, about his previous years, him transferring in from Ohio State, but how he really kind of changed himself, changed his diet, lost the weight that he needed to lose, did something with his hair, you know what I'm saying, and he's really focusing to his faith now. And he has a certain calmness, a certain peace. You know what I'm saying? And so I think the sky, everything he wants to accomplish, man, I think the sky is a limit for him. It's like, You know, the way his pause. The only other quarterback in the country that, you know, I've been speaking about that shows a tremendous amount of pause is Shedeur Sanders.
Oh yeah.
But I kind of saw in yours that kind of composure where he maintained himself. He didn't get out of his character. He followed through with the, you know, execute the game plan, and he hung in there, man, in a hostile environment. You know.
You know another reason I think Alabama lost that game. I'd never seen them put a quarterback that subpar on the field before. That quarterback for Alabama, man, I was like, this dude needs to be a wing back or a running
receiver.
A quarterback.
Right, he's not a quarterback.
I noticed that first quarter. I'm like, man, I don't think this dude is a quarterback. And he showed that throughout the game. He was missing throws.
Yeah.
He's very athletic. He's
an
okay quarterback, but for Alabama and Nick Saban to let that boy play the whole game as bad as he was missing, you know, key key receivers, man. There's no way in the world. I was like, I know he got at least 2 more quarterbacks.
They struggle. They struggle at quarterback.
Yeah, man.
They struggle at quarterback.
I don't predict him to be the quarterback in the next 3 games.
Well, he got a chance because you think about this. More than likely, he performing in practice. Okay, so he performed in practice. He's hitting them throws, but that pressure went on.
Exactly.
Right?
That makes a difference.
So when that pressure get on you,
it's a different speed.
Yeah, that's
but
what
you
the
think
guys
at Alabama, you should always be getting pressure because you're Alabama. Both sides of your ball, you got, you know.
But you know how we say, you know how we say, you know, we got practice then game lights.
It's game
lights.
lights.
Game lights. Some people can't play
about Alabama though. This is
understand.
nothing new for Alabama. They've been doing
but you know, I wish I could show my Texas. I was texting a friend of mine because his grandson plays at Texas. We talking about Malik Muhammad, right?
Yeah.
And I'm texting, and I was telling him, I say this quarterback, just like what DA is talking about. I said, man, they should just sit down on some of them routes, especially late in the game.
Right.
I said because now they have to throw the ball.
Right.
I said I'm looking for the pick. You know,
exactly.
I'm understanding. I'm not gonna let nothing close my cushion and get behind me. But I'm looking for the pick. I'm looking for you to try to, you know, sail me on the deep, catch the short routes, and step out of bounds. I'm looking for that. And that kid wasn't accurate at all.
No, he wasn't.
And, you know, so I get what you're saying when it comes to that. But you know.
Hey, that what you just said, that's a safety and cornerback little, you know, we can do invert on that play, right? We do an invert, I come over, hit yours, and you hit my position. Say I'm the safety supposed to be up, I play here, I get back, and then you come up. And so then you do that invert. But see, a lot of guys ain't got that experience yet, so they can't do that kind of play.
Right.
Yeah, that's a little play. Right. You know, when you got that game down, you do that little play, all of a sudden you got an easy pick, and people are like, oh man, that was a great call. No, the players did that real quick.
Right.
So that happens every once in a while. You'll see some things happen like that, and the quarterback won't have a clue. This is how you beat a quarterback. Sometimes you play a game in your secondary, you kind of invert some things, you know. But the coach, of course, got to have confidence and let you do it.
But a lot of that is a whole lot of communication too between that corner and free safety. Because we discussed that, man. You couldn't even with certain calls of the game. I couldn't get my right alignment if he don't give me the strength call, declare what's strength and what's weak and all that stuff. So it's a lot of communications going on. But like I said, man, shout out again to Texas, man. Longhorns went down there, man. Hostile environment, and they revenged that defeat last year. Horrible defeat. The way they lost last year, having the quarterback get knocked out. And what was so interesting, I thought about in the time when they played, when Colt McCoy got knocked out, when they were playing in the championship game. You kind of hate to see injuries and key injuries and people get knocked out of the game. We know injuries are part of the game, but I was so glad that. Texas stood strong, man, and they defense. Big Murphy. Shout out to Miss Brenda King. That's her grandson. You know, we talked about that.
Yeah, you know, our coach Murphy, he played for the Dolphins. He on the wall.
He on the wall too. Yeah, this is the wall right here, man. This is the wall right here. The wall of fame. Yeah, the wall of fame. Big Murphy, man, and crew and company, man. They went out there and really did their thing, man. And you can't, you know, what more can you say? I mean, I was so glad they went in that environment, man, and finally changed the narrative. I'm gonna tell you something. This is just my thought about this, and it could be a little bit of his age too, but I don't see Nick Saban there, man, past maybe 2 or 3 more years.
Yeah, it's done. It's over.
Because usually when you start losing,
right?
When you start losing, you kind of like, okay, I see because it has changed.
Right. The NIL, it caught up with
Transporter, man, has allowed these kids, man, to go where they need to go to get paid, and rightfully so.
It's balanced now, man.
Yeah, that's why Dion was able to flip.
Right.
Yeah, but they still got a lot of money in Alabama. And the other part is this: all you gotta do is get the right quarterback, and he'll be all right. So it just depends. He get the right quarterback with all that money. They got lots of money in Alabama, just like Nebraska do too.
Okay, since she's saying Nebraska, we gonna go ahead and segue over to Nebraska. Since he talking about that Nebraska, because I need to know what happened. I need to know what happened. All-American free safety Tim Jackson, former Dallas Cowboys draftee in 1989. I need for you to tell the replay what happened. Let's replay that.
What happened, Tim?
Real simple. Prime time happened too. We should have had prime time. But hey, you know.
Hey, TCU should have had him that day.
But they should have too.
They sick too.
You know, being the first starting black free safety for Nebraska.
Say it again.
The first starting black free safety for Nebraska.
Yeah,
so when you
let's clap that up on the replay. Let's clap that up, baby. The first.
That's all right.
The first.
So you can tell how far we've come. So it still have to deal with some things that are a little bit different in Nebraska. Y'all know that land is what that land is.
Right.
Hey, so with that, they're not really looking for. They found a guy, Matt Rule. He's gonna be a good coach because he's disciplined. He has some strength. It's gonna take him a while. Dion is doing something totally different.
Yeah.
Because he's like us. He actually going outside the box. He's being us. He's bringing our culture.
That's right.
To the game. College game ain't never seen it. They ain't seen us
Right.
rawly do what we do best,
That's
right? Come in, think ahead of the game. Don't follow what everybody else is doing, but go ahead and say, hey, this is what's special about us, and we're gonna bring our culture and all our good people with us together.
And that's what he's doing.
That's exactly what he's doing, man. On that note, man, we're going to take another break. When we come back, we're going to be talking about who's the leading Heisman Trophy candidate right here on the replay.
Ever hear the one about the frog? Put a frog in a pot of boiling water and it'll jump right out. But put a frog in a pot of cool water and slowly heat it up, and that frog will boil. It's alive. But as a metaphor for us and all that we go through as veterans,
real-world experience.
It's a story that rings true. We make excuses for how we feel. We push everything down. We tell ourselves the lie that it's easier to stay in that boiling water, to disconnect. And some days, maybe, it is. But you've never been interested in easy. Reaching out is hard. Do it anyway. You're not alone. You've got this. You are not a frog.
Find resources at va.gov/reach.
Okay, guys, let's talk about it. Let's get into it, man. Let's get into it. They talking about it. Been talking about it the last couple of weeks. Who are the ones that are out there leading the way for the Heisman Trophy this year? I don't know your candidates. We haven't taken a poll, any of that, but we need to find out who is leading in the Heisman voting for 2023 this year. I'm gonna start over to my right here. I got my man DA. I'm gonna flip it like that. I think he wanna throw a name out there that may not be what I'm thinking, but we gonna see. We gonna check this 49er fan out. Who you got, DA? Who you think is leading right now? Leading the way?
I think Shador should be leading, but I'm rolling with Travis Hunter, man, because I don't recall another athlete playing two ways like successfully and that dominant in college. Maybe y'all can enlighten me, where somebody's playing almost full time
10 minutes
offense, and he's not just out there, he's like, you know what I'm saying, making plays. So I'm gonna roll with Travis Hunter, even though it might not be the popular.
Well, I say one of the persons individual come to mind is Charles Wilson from Michigan, who actually won the Heisman Trophy, playing both ways.
Mm-hmm. But however, like he didn't really play offense like Hunter.
He played the great majority of his plays, percentage-wise, was on defense.
Right.
So that's what I was about to say. That Travis Hunter is actually going. I mean, it's not even like a break. So he's getting about 120 plays a game, I guess, somewhere in there. So to his credit and what you're saying, I can't think anyone unless we go way back to Jim Thorpe. and that's a long time.
But we were all playing high school. Right. When everybody playing high school football, that was it.
I can't see him being able to do that a whole year, man. Like the wear and tear on his body.
Not even Dion trying to put the hot tub on the plane. Because he said he gonna do the hot tub.
He did.
That's too much. That's a lot.
Can handle that.
I mean, little league in high school, junior high, but no.
So honestly,
I think I just fear that an injury is gonna pop up sometimes because of that. That's a lot of wear and
Right,
tear.
it is, and Deion didn't even do that himself. As great as he was, I mean, that's a lot of reps, a lot of plays, and you want to be really, a lot of risk that's involved in that. You want to really be concerned for the young athlete himself, man. You don't want to risk because every play is not the same play, and all it takes on that gridiron, man, is one play, man, to end it all. So I think he needs to be mindful of that and conscious of that. For just say, hold on, I want to come down here to Jeff right quick and get his vote right now. We only got 2 weeks. We're just getting into this thing. So who do you think is leading the way right now? Shador Sanders. You got Shador?
I got him leading.
Okay.
I got him leading, and behind him be A&M quarterback.
Stop the man. Stop the man. Do you really want to go there? Stop the man. I know you love the maggots, man. But we ain't gonna, and you gonna have Kevin Harry and all that one of the baddest balls, man. But listen, we ain't gonna keep doing that, bro. We gonna start dropping doing push-ups, man. I need 10 push-ups, man. I need 10 push-ups. But who you have though? Who you have, Tim?
Oh man, the front runner is actually Caleb Williams at USC.
Oh,
everybody
okay.
forgot. Everybody keep forgetting.
You stole it. But go ahead.
Let me say, Caleb Williams, man, he won the Heisman Trophy last year. And he ain't did nothing this year to say he's not gonna win it this year, right? And he's playing better teams already too, and he actually took care of them, no problem whatsoever. He already threw for 800-something yards. His percentage is like 80% or something like that on his passing. So, and he's throwing touchdown, no interception. Shador is doing the same thing. He's doing some nice game, but he got to continue to play some other people. People are waiting to see he get measured up against somebody with a good offense and a good defense. So, and so he got some games coming up. If he actually performs in those, and he got a showdown with Caleb Williams anyway, so that's going to be good anyway. So that's one. And Travis is nice. Travis is doing somebody nobody ever did, in the college game since back in the days we wasn't playing. So so he actually doing something playing both ways, but actually they gave him some rest in the last game a little bit. He didn't play every down on offense as much. He actually took some rest in between that, and that other kid stood out as a receiver that game. So Travis kind of backed off. His offense performance in that game wasn't as big. He did make some plays though. And then you got that kid at Washington. He can play. That quarterback in Washington. He can play. I'm sorry, I'm going to stop now.
I think he was looking at my notes, man.
Yeah,
he been making some plays.
Well, I need to chime in before we just take my whole who I have as far as the potential win of all this. I think all of us will agree that I would like to see Shador Sanders win it.
Yes.
But right now I would say the front runner is Caleb Williams, especially the way they destroyed Stanford the other night.
Right.
He do have a little better passing rating and touchdown, but Shador Sanders have more yards at the moment. I think both of them don't have any interceptions thrown when I last checked. But that was going to be my dark horse. You talking about Michael Penix?
Yes.
A lot of people not talking about Michael Penix Jr. from Washington. But he's a left-handed quarterback, man. He's spot on, and he has them playing really well offensively, and they're the number 8th ranked team if they don't move up in the polls. And their defense is not pretty bad. I got another little youngster over there, man. He had a heck of a game on Jabbar Muhammad.
He on the wall too.
He on the wall too. That's right. All of them up there, man. All of them up there. And their cousin playing with the Cleveland Browns, AJ Green. So shout out to all of them. I call them my spiritual nephews. But I think Washington has one heck of a team, man. And Michael Penix is leading the way. So he's my dark horse. Got a chance to see them play. But right now I have to lean a little bit towards Caleb Williams. I am definitely looking towards the showdown between him and Shador Sanders. But the thing I like about Shador is after they defeated TCU, when he made the statement that he said, man, it's all in the mind. People, they get into the names and all this other stuff, the schools. He said that ain't gonna determine, what you're gonna do, out there on the field. Right. So I think he has the salt. He has his daddy's ilk, if you will. So I think that Shador, like Tim stated, if he can close out some of these big games and stay steady, man, they keep growing as a team, I think he can sneak that Heisman, man. So
is it a sign of the times that nobody has mentioned an SEC team or player that's on an SEC team? Like usually you're gonna be talking about
about
Georgia,
Georgia?
Alabama, somebody in the Heisman race.
I don't think
And
I
I
heard
nobody's even mentioned it.
because we don't.
And let me say this for the record. You know, there haven't been a 2-time Heisman Trophy winner since Archie Griffin from Ohio State.
1975.
Now, the year that I feel like it should have happened, personally, I believe that Billy Sims should have won it. He should have been the second one to do it, but Charles White got it. And but who knows? We can never say never. But I think that's what Caleb Williams have going against him. If Shedeur Sanders, remain his pace that he's on. So we'll see towards the end.
Yeah, they don't like to repeat winners.
They don't really like to repeat those winners, but like I said, I don't know anybody out of the SEC.
Yeah, that's unusual. Every year you're usually talking about one or two players.
They don't have one. They don't have
I can't think of nobody, to be honest with you. And like I said, the only two
We'll
quarterbacks.
revisit this later in the season.
Later. I just thought that within these last 2 weeks, kind of seeing the quarterback play, man, we've seen a lot of great quarterbacks, this year. A lot of opening of the weekend, and then the second, game. I think USC may have played 3 games. I think they only
they
probably
played
three
3
games, something
They
like
got
that.
3
Well,
games.
but I've seen such a good quarterback play, and
What's
like I
their
said,
rank?
who knows? USC.
Yeah, what's the rankings?
I think
didn't even see
USC
the
is
latest
number
rankings.
6.
Are the rankings out? Or they come
Yeah,
out?
they went out.
Yeah, they're in the top 10.
But
They're top 10. USC is number 6, I think, and Washington's number 8. I think Texas gonna move up because they were
Texas
11.
moved up.
I think Alabama went to number 10, I think.
Alabama went to 10, and Texas moved down like
they love to
4.
keep-
Yeah, Texas number 4 now.
Texas number 4 now.
Texas number 4.
They number 4
Texas
now.
number 4.
Yeah,
They number
they moved
4.
number
So
4.
Georgia still won.
Yeah.
Georgia still won.
Oregon, we didn't talk about this. We might sneak this in because Texas Tech played their butt off.
Yeah, they did.
And I really thought they was
I
about
thought
to
they
knock
was gonna
off
blow-
Oregon,
I
man.
thought
Wow.
That would have been a good win.
Yeah, that
Yeah.
would have been a
That would've
great
been a good
win for
win.
the program, man.
But I thought they was gonna blow Texas Tech out.
Yeah,
I
and
did.
Colorado still have to go up there and play. They play them in Oregon, but that's going to be another great game too. That he can continue to stack those votes. But they've been talking about the possibility of Shedeur Sanders and Travis Hunter splitting the votes. They saying that's probably what's going to hurt them towards the end. We'll see.
Man, yeah.
We'll see.
I don't know if there's any reason for them to split any votes though. So, cause they different schools. We in the same school,
we
like I
talking.
said.
No, they same school. We talking Travis Hunter.
Oh, Travis Hunter. Oh, my fault.
We left out Jordan Travis too.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking about.
Your Jordan Travis
Cause
probably.
man, he done did some stuff. He done upset the world a little bit how well he been playing. So a lot of people are loving what he's doing over at Florida State because he's been playing really well. And he kind of he's like, whoa, Florida State is back. So especially with Deion Sanders outshining.
Wait a minute.
Everybody talking about that now.
What is it about this goal? Even though they ain't got no loud red, but there's something about this goal and this.
I've just been a Florida State fan since Deion.
I ain't mad at you. I'm not mad at you.
Like
I'm not
I've been
mad at you at
silent
all.
for the last decade, 2 decades.
Right, I'm not mad at you at all, man. That's why people ask me, how you become an OU fan? I said, man, ever since I saw Greg Pruitt, man, and then Billy Sims come with them boys back in the day, I root for Texas, man. This long way on play.
Who was the quarterback for Oklahoma back in Ward number 8 back in the day?
Troy Aikman?
No. This is way back.
Oh, you talking about he's number 4.
No, I'm talking about number 8. See, he was the first black quarterback I had seen that was on a dominant team at Oklahoma. That's why I came in
Number
Texas.
8?
Texas wasn't doing it. I think I got that number right. I think he was 8.
Because it's the first. So you had back. No, he's number 6. You talking about Thomas Locke? You sure you're not talking about Thomas Locke?
It could be Thomas Locke. I thought I was talking about somebody before Thomas Locke. But definitely Thomas Locke. Thomas Locke was the one who actually got me in, really. Yeah. So when I saw Thomas Locke there, and Texas wouldn't even touch, any black quarterbacks at that particular time. Right. So it was like, okay, Oklahoma, y'all are lost brothers, even though, there's a lot of stuff that went on in Oklahoma, but because of that, at least they recognize that we can be leaders. It's a lot of times they don't recognize leaders. Now we got leaders. Think about how many leaders we got that's a quarterback right now that actually give me in the top of the vote. Mm-hmm. Man, that's quite a few. Washington quarterback, all the quarterbacks we didn't mention, Florida State, just all them quarterbacks we didn't name. Man, that's amazing. Yeah. But it should be. It should have been a long time ago.
Well, this is going back a little bit. Texas didn't really start their recruitment of the black quarterback, I think, until Barry Switzer was back and started recruiting the black quarterback like Tom Lightning. But they did have back in the city. I remember you probably remember Donnie Little.
Yeah, I remember Donnie Little. Yeah, that's when they finally did it.
Yeah, they started making that transition. I don't know if he the first one.
Because Rawls said he needed to.
But I don't remember anybody before Donnie Little. You know, I could be wrong, but that's the first black quarterback I remember at Texas was Donnie Little. And then they brought, well, he didn't play quarterback actually, but I remember they recruited Herky Walls that went to Garland. So that was back in the day. We showing our age now. Man.
Yeah, I know.
But anyway, like I said, man. Well, we got the some of our insights on the leading Heisman Trophy candidates right now. Like I said, we got 2 non-quarterbacks. Most of them been quarterbacks. So we'll see what happens, like Daryl said, coming down the road. So when we come back, we're going to get into what's local, man. We're going to get into what you like, man. These high school boys. We're going to talk about that when we come back on the next replay.
A man looks at his tablet.
Most hiring algorithms would scream me out.
A woman walks through a parking garage.
Some bosses couldn't see me as a leader.
A man types on a computer.
I've run this place for 20 years, but I still need to prove that I'm more than what you see on paper.
The paper ceiling, noun, the invisible barrier that comes at every turn for workers without a bachelor's degree.
I've been running code as long as I've been able to reach a keyboard.
This is what I do. It's second nature for me, coordinating 100 details at once.
It's the way my mind works. I have a very mechanical brain.
I sold them on my skills.
You gotta be so good they can't ignore you.
My magic is
analytics and empathy. That's how I'm getting clients. You have to have the confidence in yourself to show up and defy the odds.
I am more than who I am on paper.
Skill through alternative routes instead of a bachelor's degree. A woman looks
I never got a college degree. And today, I'm the CEO of my own company. People want to tell me I'm one in a million, when actually I'm one of millions. Stars are all around us. It's time for them to shine.
ThePaperCeiling.org. Join us in tearing the paper ceiling.
Okay, y'all, let's get into this thing, man. We're going to start this thing off on this local level, and we're going to talk about one of these perennial high school power teams, the DeSoto Eagles, how they skinned up them Sato Cliff Bears, man. 2-time defending state champions, you know what I'm saying, from District 5A, them Sato Cliff Bears. And, that score was really lopsided, 54-14.
Yeah.
But before we get into that, we got to talk about the events that took place, man, because this is one of the things about this particular platform here, man. We want to make sure that we touch not only what we're talking about nationally, what goes on, but definitely locally here in our community.
That's right.
So I don't know. I was kind of getting it, towards the end about what took place. I think, Darryl, you know a little bit more about it.
I just got word from a couple people who were there, and it's like, hey, they kind of started brawling out there and kind of messed up the. It was a lopsided game, so I heard people were saying they just felt like something was going to happen because of the way soccer was being humiliated, and
right.
It kind of spills over to the fans, man. I just think as a people, we got to get to a de-escalation kind of mentality amongst ourselves, because where do our kids learn to fight from? They learn it from us, and we learn it from you don't let nobody disrespect
right.
you, and you know what I'm saying. That's just kind of been. I ain't gonna say our culture, but that's just in us, and it was always taught to us. So I just think, man, we just gotta start getting in these kids' heads and teach them how to de-escalate, because it only takes a couple of fools to start a brawl. Because if somebody does something to him, what do we do? You can't do nothing to him. We gotta, you know what I'm saying, and it just escalates.
Right.
So,
and I'm thinking it started like say they started the JV game. They had a brawl, a big old fight. One of the kids got to fight. One of the kids got to fighting on the field, and then it escalated from that. So it could have been that, man. Yeah. But because they was talking about canceling the game, But I guess they went on. They had high security there. So I don't know if it was from Thursday night or what, But it started Thursday night at the JV game.
Well, what it sounds to me like is one of those deals where they talked about. It's called a spillover effect. It can start here, and then it spills over into, like I say, the next game. And one of the things Darryl just mentioned about, man, we talk about our community, especially being on the inside of things and seeing this. We have to change that narrative, like he just stated, because some of the stuff that's in us, we have to suppress it down and can't let it, percolate to come out. Unfortunately, we know of a young, I forget the coach name. You may remember the coach name that got killed over here at Lancaster, man, doing a Pee Wee game.
Yeah. Mike. Mike.
Yeah, Mike.
His kids was in my organization.
Yeah, and that's for something like that to take place, man, and the trauma that it puts on these kids' mind,
Right.
because we're out there for the kids, and I think a lot of time what I see the natural propensity of what's really happening, what goes on, it really goes back, as crazy as it may sound, this goes all the way back to Africa, man. When he talk about what's in us,
That's right.
because we're talking about tribalism.
Right.
Tribalism, right? We fight over colors, we fight over schools, we fight over, I don't like him, I don't like her, because for what? When we should be celebrating, competition.
That's right.
Athletics.
That's correct.
Because this is an opportunity. Within the past few weeks, we've seen the millionaires of these people sign like the Jaylen Brown from Boston Celtics. They talk about 40 acres. Listen to me carefully on this. They talk about 40 acres in the media, right? Reparations and all of that. But, Satan planned and God plans. And God is the best of planners.
That's right.
You all don't want to give it to us through government, right? Reparations. But here's an opportunity through sports. The same way the Arabs have the oil, right?
Right.
See, we've always been creators and manufacturers of our own money policies, if you will. We created hip hop, right? We started that and took it around the world. When at one time they said that hip hop wasn't going to be nothing, couldn't even get on Soul Train. But you look at it now, look at it today,
It's
right?
everywhere.
So I'm definitely I concur with DA when he talks about suppressing that and bringing out the best in us, man. Because if you want to get upset, man, because the game is not going your way, then we grew up on sportsmanship.
That's right.
Our coaches told us, man, hey man, when the game is over with, go across and shake the other person's hand.
That's right.
You want to be celebrated. Yeah. And I think it's so important. So to have those individuals, really when you think about it, it just be a few individuals.
Yeah, and it may not, not saying it was any of the players or anything. It can just be a couple of rogue fans that all it takes is one person to disrespect this person, and now that's what you say, the tribalism. This is my family, I'm protecting my family. Well, that person over there has family too, and then next thing you know, you got a brawl.
And what did we talk about earlier, DA? We said that this is a recipe for disaster. If you having a game on a Saturday night, and all it takes is people who had a little drink before they went into the game. Yeah. So this is the fire, if you will, that causes these flames to come up with inside the individual. Now all of a sudden your team is losing, they down, somebody done said something, and there it go. So I think it's a very, very sad thing that took place, because that game was lopsided. But I got to give a big shout out to the quarterback over there. I think he started the game, Darius Bailey. I think in Tristan Bailey, but Darius Bailey, man, the kid had a passing rating of about 62.5%, man, threw for 4 touchdowns and over 250 some yards. Yeah. So he had a heck of a game.
That big night.
So and a lot of that get lost. It get lost in the brawl situation. And so that's something that we have to be mindful of, because it's about the kids. The kids should be celebrated. That's right. Who it's about.
See, you said all the right thing, because it's a mindset change we gotta have. We gotta have a mindset change. Somebody gotta de-escalate, like Daryl said. So somebody gotta de-escalate the situation, and we gotta see the bigger picture. Because the bigger picture is sports in the first place is between the lines.
That's right.
We battle in between the lines, but we shake hands at the end of the game, like you mentioned Jabril as well. And then somebody in the stands who representing the kids needs to de-escalate. Somebody got to come up and say, hey, it ain't about this.
That's right.
It ain't about this. And all we do is hurt us.
That's right.
We hurt our brain. We hurt who we are. And we're not unifying? What is this all about? We can't get lost in the battles and, like you said, move to tribalism, when actually we should have a united front, because other enemies come for us. We got enemies come for us all the time. When we build cities, we build towns, we do things, and then they come for us. And we battling each other, because what we need to do is different. We need to build cities here, a city there, and then even though we compete for how good we can make the city, we need to actually have those cities trading with each other, right? And so we have these different places. So they had a city in Florida, right? Rose Hill. They had the other city here in different areas. They had one in South Carolina. Had one in Oklahoma, Tulsa, right? You have all these cities. They should have been trading with each other, building something strong, put an infrastructure as we build forward. We got to do that. Even though we play sports and we battle, you may be playing college on the same team with this guy. I remember all the guys coming from different states all the time. We playing against each other, and we played in high school, and we come together as a team and form a new team. That tells you there's a bigger picture to everything. So don't get lost on your moment of going in. I know that Dion said it's personal. You got to be careful even on that. You know, it's personal, cool, but it's personal between the lines. Okay? It's personal between the lines, not outside the line.
That's where it should stay. And I'm going to say this, man, because this is one of the things when we talk about being educated, not just on the field, but off the field. And why I'm glad, let me give a big shout out to one of our sponsors, man. This is the Sports Business Institute by, again, a good friend, Mr. Darrell Williams. And we talk about this all the time. And this is the card right here. I'm next, okay? Sports Business Institute, because everybody's not going to make the pros.
That's right.
But you can't be a professional in life, right? And so we got to make sure that we're teaching these young men, young women, the proper habits. You know what I'm saying? It's going to make you successful. When you start talking about business, because you don't want to be out there doing that stuff when somebody else is profiting off your own ignorance.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? Because I'm fond of saying if you think ignorance or if you think education is expensive, try ignorance. Try ignorance. Yeah. We can't have people profiting, man, off our young people, and we don't do anything to help change that narrative. So this is so important, man. We talk about programs like the Sports Business Institute. Again, when I got the call from my guy, man, talking about sponsoring the program, you know, we looking for sponsors like that, man. It's going to be a part of the solution and not the problem. So I hope that, you know, they have learned their lesson after that game that was being played, man, because you're taking away why we're really out there and what we should really be doing in our community, man. And that's about these kids.
Yeah, and then we fighting on each other, man. It's time out for that, man.
Yeah, absolutely.
To come together as a
absolutely, man. Absolutely, it's time for us to do that, man. And so we have to again change that narrative. So, but big shout out to the DeSoto Eagles, man. They played a superb offensively game. Defense came through for them, and they defeated two-time state champs against South Oak Cliff 54-14. And then we are talking about Duncanville. Because Duncanville, I think, you know, it was swept on the road, but they did a number on Rockledge from Florida. This school from Florida.
They put it on them.
And they put it on them 44-0. Right. You know, they got the kid over there, DeAndre Moore, the receiver. Say, man. Say, man.
Is Duncanville a favorite to win it again this year?
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yeah, they are.
They're number one in the Metroplex.
In the Metroplex.
Actually, they number 8 in the nation. Or some
number
top 10
in the nation, number 1 in the Metroplex.
Yeah, I think number 7.
But you know, in them in DeSoto, they got the big 6A, small 6A. So you know, depending on how it fall and who wins, you know, the Walter Hatchet and the Mansfield schools, DeSoto either fall small 6A or big 6A. That's how they was able both to win it last year. Right. You know, you got the big 6.
Okay, 6'1", 6'2", something like that, right?
Yeah, 6'5" and 6'6", right?
I think DeSoto is hoping to get small 6A again. You know, cause that big 6A, that's some heat up there.
That's some heat up there, yeah.
But I don't know. I think we're ready for it this year. I don't know, but just it's all about the numbers, you know, on the enrollment.
Because Cedar Hill, I think they won it too. I don't know if they use. I don't know what happened to Cedar Hill, but they got over the years they kind of lost. I guess they lost.
Yeah, man, you know.
Yeah, they won it too. But I'm gonna do like this. I'm gonna give a big shout out to my Wilma Hutchin Eagles, man. I mean, we 3-0, man. Yeah, I mean, we might be over there in 4. We 3-0, man. We 3-0. Carter 1-2. Look here, man. That's another story for another thing.
Carter 1 and 2?
No, I'm take that back. I'm sorry, Carter. I'm sorry, Carter fan. They 2-1. They 2-1.
They lost to Sarah.
They lost to Sunnyvale. Was the first one they lost, but they won this past week. They won this past. They 2-1. 2-1. But we gotta take a look at that too.
Oh, y'all.
We play Carter. Yeah, we play Carter. Yeah, we play Carter. So we gonna take a look at that too.
Well, you know, Sunnyvale, they got some apartments over there. They got apartments next to them. Mansions over there now. Y'all.
Hey,
put Sunnyvale on the radar.
Put him on the radar.
Changed everything, don't it? Isn't it crazy about, you know, how the district changed and all of a sudden one district in Dallas become more dominant than another district?
Right.
Because of how we move. It's where we move.
It's where we
Wherever we move, that's where it goes.
That's where it
goes. You know,
it's a shift.
That's why Walter Hampton's building up like they building up.
Yeah, because you're right. You're absolutely right.
Man,
you're absolutely right.
Southern Flight going.
That's right.
That Southern Flight, man. And what's so crazy to me is like we sit back and we talk about, man, the powerhouse schools back in our day, man, was coming up, the South Oak Cliff, Roosevelt's, the Wilma Hutchins, and who am I missing?
Kimber and Carter.
Well, it count with Carter too, Kimber, but I'm saying.
But it wasn't no DeSoto's and Cedar Hills and Walter.
All on the outskirts, man. They had to stop the game. But listen, man, before we get ready to wrap up this episode 2 of this beautiful sports show, man, I gotta say it like that, man. The replay, right? We gotta give a shout out Gotta give a shout out to Miss Coco Gauff, 19-year-old tennis phenom who knocked off Ariana Sabalenka from Russia. Big shout out to her, man. She went and did her thing. So proud, so happy for her. And she played one of the most. Her resilience and how she came back. She played one of the most
to
perfect
be 19 and get dominated that first set, knowing that if you lose the next set, it's over. And then come back and dominate.
And came back and dominated.
That resilience.
That resilience, man.
Woo.
Yeah, she showed a lot of poise, man, and a lot of mental fortitude, man. So big shout out to Coco Gauff. We wish her nothing but success. And like I said, man, I hope that she go get that win at Wimbledon too. She's playing them doubles also. So that's going to conclude another episode here on The Replay. As we always like to say, the replay is because what? Everybody needs a do-over.
All right.
So big shout out, man. We'll see you next time. Join us next week every Monday, 5 p.m. Central Time.
Hey, Chef don't get no shout out, man.
Yeah, I got shout out to my producer, Big. You know that Jerome Sheffield in the house, man. This is what we do with TNTV. Don't y'all forget about our Sports Business Institute, one of our sponsors. But look, we gonna be back again with another hot one recapping, man. Peace out, y'all.
Replay.